Hey everybody, Professor Nick Carbonaro here. Just want to give you a quick overview of quiz number 2, chapters 4 and 5 for GBUS 10 Personal Finance. And let's do this quick. Let's get it started so that you have enough time to study, make your note card, and come prepared for the test this week. So the first thing we see over here are low interest rates. Why are low interest rates helpful? Go look back on that chapter 4 top hat, in which we go over the advantages and disadvantages of low interest rates. It's in your book as well in the very first part of the book. It says low interest rates, why are they helpful? There's certain reasons why they're helpful, and you could go through the process and figure out which reasons why the low interest rates are helpful. What are they doing in? And we went over it very in depth. We pulled up the national debt, remember, so that should be an indicator or something. We talked about how it would discourage savings, so that could be another way to study for it. So just know those differences between know the differences of why low interest rates, the positive and negative benefits of them. We also have major sources of home mortgages. So this was talked about in chapter 5, and we talked about the home mortgages, but we also talked about this earlier in the semester when we went over financial institutions in chapter 4, so depository, non-depository. So remember, with home mortgages, they can be both obtained from a depository and a non-depository one. So depository is your credit union, your commercial bank. Your non-depository ones are considered like mortgage banks and stuff like that. So know where you can find them, know the sources. When we talk about market values of home, from the time where, let's say your market value of your home is $600,000, but the balance left after you paid for it, you may have paid for a home 3 years ago and you've been paying off the balance, and the balance on your home is $300,000. So that's $600,000 minus the $300,000. The difference between the market value and the balance of the home, that $300,000 difference. What is that called, right? I'll give you a hint. Starts with an E. Kind of reminds you of the word equitable. So it's a little hint right there. The price of the car you're leasing, right? The price of the car you're leasing. We talked about this in class, so go look back on the lease slide on the top hat page, and it'll tell you about the lease requirements and stuff. So what is that called? The down payment on the car you are leasing. So the down payment on the car, and I never mentioned this in class, so I'll just give you the answer: capitalized cost reduction. As a homeowner, right? When we talked about in chapter 3 when we did taxes, what were the couple things that a homeowner could deduct from their tax statement, right? We had a couple things. So sorry, excuse me. We had a couple things. We had a couple things on there that a federal government may allow you to deduct. So go look back at that. Maybe even chapter 3, the tax example. You could go look back at the Schedule A itemized deductions that we went over and review that as well. What is the maximum amount for single FDIC insurers? How much are you protected up to single? Most lenders, so people that give out money. What did we say with a private mortgage, like the private company compared to the FHA, right? So there's FHA and then there's private loans. We said for private loans they require a certain amount for a down payment, and we talked about that in class. We said, yeah, it's about the average is about blank percentage, right? Know what that percentage is. Know what that percentage is. Another one, we didn't really talk about this in class, so you may see it on the test, you may not see it on the test. Most lenders do not want mortgage payments plus other installment loan payments to exceed, roughly around 25 to 30% of your monthly gross income. So there's another freebie that you may see on the test. What is an FHA loan? Define what an FHA loan is. And particularly, who insures the FHA loan? Why is an FHA loan so important, and who insures it? Generally speaking, do regular checking accounts are regular checking accounts interest-bearing checking accounts? Generally speaking. If I give you a list of items, can you correctly identify which ones could or could not be deducted on your mortgage interest. Deducted on your taxes. Well, one of them I just gave away, but deducted on your taxes. And bear with me, I got some really bad allergies going on this morning. So, when we look at paying for a home, right, we talked about things that are needed up front, right? And I told you specifically in class, I go, listen, the down payment and the points, those are part of a total cost at the beginning of the home process. Before you can get your keys to your house, you have to pay these costs up front, right? Down payment and points are one of them, but there were other stuff that I said that, yeah, there's other small stuff in there, like an appraisal fee, a loan origination fee, title and deed search, all these other types of things. But when you add all those things together, what are they called? What are they called? So when you sign a contract and you withdraw without a valid reason, do you get your money back? Yes or no? Know the effects of a loan term for a car. So, for example, if you bought a car and you have a 6-year loan compared to a 3-year loan, which one will have the lower monthly payment? The 6-year loan or the 3-year loan? What are some advantages and disadvantages of buying a used car? What are some advantages and disadvantages of buying a used car? And we talked about those in class. What is the financing rate on the car you are leasing is called? So the financing rate, that's specifically in your top hat. Go to your top hat on the lease page. I define it right there for you. I just say this equals whatever it is. So what is the financing rate on the car you are leasing called? Is a money market mutual fund a way to participate in purchasing money market securities? That should be an easy question right there. Do credit unions supply their members with deposit insurance, like the FDIC? Remember, there's another acronym I showed you. So know what that acronym is that credit unions do. It's on your top hat slides. Define what points are. Go back to your chapter 5 top hat slides. Define what points are when we talk about what are points on your mortgage, on your costs, right? What are considered points? Are treasury bills sold at their face value? Look that up. We didn't really talk about that in class, but are T-bills sold on face value? That's from chapter 4. Is depreciation important when talking about purchasing a home, purchasing a car? Is depreciation important, right? Depreciation, is it important? Yes or no? And what is depreciation? Depreciation is as you buy an item, it devalues in time, right? It wears and tears down, so the value gets lower and lower. Know the difference between a traditional bank and an internet-only bank, right? Remember those costs that we talked about, right? We put it on a dollar basis. We said if a teller is paid $1, then an ATM is paid, if a teller costs the bank $1, right? Let's say we put it on a dollar basis. If we put the teller as $1 and we put an ATM, that's about 30 cents on the dollar. So you save 70% by purchasing an ATM. And then we said, what happens when we go online banking? And it saved like 99.9 cents, right? I mean, it was like less than 1 cent on the dollar. You save money. So know the effects of an online bank with a traditional bank out there. And so that's it. Those are all the questions. Like I said, it's gonna be a fairly quick exam this time around. And I just want you guys and students out there to study, prepare, get ready, and hopefully this session helped you out. So with that, good luck, and I will see you in class.